Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't matter from where you are. My name is Noor, and I'm from ICCA, the International Congress and Convention Association. Just a year ago, we are all in Bangkok attending the ICCA show, and I still remember that every morning after breakfast, fantastic Thai breakfast, we will go to all the rooms for some education and networking, and then eventually we'll join the exhibition. That was what we've been doing before, but unfortunately that's not happening. And thank you for joining us in this ICCA virtual platform. Today I'll be talking to you about reimagining events, simply because that's what kind of event that we've been doing, and now we are in a different world altogether. Obviously, there's so many other speakers have spoken about how we go into the new phase of our life, how we are restarting the business, how a lot of destination and companies are looking at new strategies. I will not be talking about that macro level, but I will be going into more of a micro level where some of the learning points when we ourselves as ICCA, as an association, when we organize our event, what are the things that we have to start doing and thinking, and maybe some of the things that I'm going to share with you today would make some sense. So we are definitely and undoubtedly in a different era at the moment because we are in a new normal, and I think definitely you would agree that Asia Pacific is one of the regions that is reopening, but also, unfortunately, for the last few months, the trend that we can see, there are also some new wave coming in. I'm speaking today from Kuala Lumpur, where we are also experiencing some new rise in cases in COVID-19. We have reopened sometime back in June and July, and then we have closed back our activities. So these are the challenges that we are all facing. We just hope that we can work together. We can fight this COVID-19. When we talk about going digital and bringing our event to the digital space, we have to remember that a lot of us, in particular in the meetings industry or the MICE industry, we are not the digital native. I think that's the biggest challenge because other than we are good with our mobile phones, we are not really into the tech space or the tech area. So when we organize our event, I think 4 of the key important areas, which I'm sure there's more to that. One of that is how do we extend the experience through the digital wave? How we provide that engagement that we had before. When we go to trade shows, we meet old colleagues, we hug them, we talk to them, we have a chat. So all those face-to-face and personal experience will not be there anymore. So how do we do that in the digital space? And still at the subject of networking, I think that will be the biggest area where our business is all about, through the conversation that we have. And also now we are already coming into the month of end of the year. There's a word called virtual fatigue. I'm sure that that's happening to you all also. And for those that joining me today, thank you for joining despite all the virtual fatigue. So before I move on, I have a polling question. So Lynette, if you can pull out that question, please, for the audience. Is it on the screen already? because I can see it from my screen here. So if you're able to answer to that polling question, that would be much appreciated. So at least I have some idea. Yes, why you are here with us today, I can see that some of you miss ICCA. That means also you miss Bangkok and Thailand. 48 still talking about networking. 5% is a hyper virtual person. This is very interesting because I just put up this question this morning and learning. I hope that I can be able to share with you as much information as possible, and none of the above is zero. So that's good. So I can still see that networking and learning are still in the top two. That's something that I really appreciate and expected. But also that, it's very in line that you miss the face-to-face interaction by going to ICCA. So, thank you for the answer. And then moving back to my presentation, today in particular, I will share with you 3 activities that we have recently done in terms of going digital and reimagining our events. I'm sure like many of you in the meeting space or in the MICE business, when we were first hit by the pandemic, or before we were hit by the pandemic, Zoom is not an app or a platform that we have heard of. And suddenly Zoom comes into our picture because a lot of companies use other kind of platform for their virtual meeting. And then Zoom suddenly become popular, and then also in China they have Woof and a few other platforms, and also some web-based platform for going digital. Similar to you, ICA, we've been using most of these platform as well for our webinars, for our online activities, for us to engage with our members and with the community. But then when we start developing and organizing more activities, we need to start thinking of what is next. In particular, when we move to the middle of the year, where some of the destination has really been reopened. And I'm sure that from that point onward, there are more and more hybrid element coming into picture. So one of the first activity that we did was the Thailand Convention Exhibition Bureau training, and the event is rather unique, and I wanted to use this example because I keep saying this many times that to learn is easy, to unlearn is not. So we've been organizing events the way that we do for many years. You go to the hotel, you make the booking, you look at the function room, you have the screen, you have this table set up, you have the F&B, and then when the show starts, something goes wrong. You do not know how to operate the clicker. That is a normal thing that everybody has gone through. So you have tested everything except for the clicker. But then when you go into the virtual space, things get a bit more challenging and more complicated simply because we are not the digital native. So this is a screenshot that we had from our training program. It is not a big program though. It is very customized and focused to local association leaders, academia, and also industry players in Thailand. It's a collaboration between TCEP and ICA. So as you see on the screen, Dr. Sarinya, or Kun Sarinya, she is the local host. She has an audience of about 50 people in the room because that is the maximum capacity at that moment in Thailand that is allowed for under safety regulation. And I was joining them from Kuala Lumpur. So ICA, we have done similar training with Thailand and other destinations. And actually, this is the first time for me personally to be involved in a training, not on location, not on site, but virtually. So this is a rather challenging event. We had the first training and then we go to the second edition. In the second edition, it becoming a bit more interesting because the first edition, we had only 3 speakers coming virtually and 2 speakers on site. But when we had the second edition, we said, we want to do it as a full-blown hybrid event. We have 16 speakers, not only from Bangkok. Even those from Bangkok, not all of the speakers are coming physically into the venue. Some of them still join virtually. And then we have other speakers and also cameo presenters coming in from the rest of the world. And then we start to expand our speakers distribution from some of them from Europe. That means we have to start thinking about the time zone. So this is some of the things that when you go virtual, you have to start thinking, because we have the Asian time zone and then the European time zone. So obviously our European presenters will join in this afternoon session, because that's the morning for them. So this is very obvious and very easy to do. And this is how it looks in the function room in a beautiful hotel in Bangkok. And the social distancing, the safety measures, all being done. But I can tell you that the time spent on the rehearsals, the training, and also the investment for the technology are rather huge. Even though what you see in the screen is just table and chairs and some delegates and a big screen, but behind that, there is a huge investment in terms of technology, because you're doing hybrid. And I think in a lot of destinations, you have companies that are able to do that. And if you are a PCO or a DMC, and I'm sure that some of you already moved your business model from just becoming a physical event organizer into a virtual event organizer. So this is something that we have seen. So in that first stage of doing this training, because we are doing it hybrid, and I'm joining the training virtually. Just like this morning, I had that first question through the live poll. So when you do events or activities virtually, you use live polls, you use Q&A, you use chat room, you use breakout rooms. For the second edition, we even include some gamification. So we use Kahoot. If you're not familiar with Kahoot, you can just log in. You can try the free version. And there's a lot more other gamification platform out there that you can use to enhance the delegate experience, to make that learning more fun. So that's what we did. We also use not only breakout rooms, we go one step further to have a work group in breakout room for the virtual delegate. Because when we did this training, we have a hybrid delegate, that means on-site and off-site. So the off-site delegate are virtual delegate, about 100 of them. So for you to design this kind of virtual event, the reimagining of the event, not only in terms of what you would like to deliver, but also more importantly is what the attendees would experience. So you need to think about, if you're doing this particular session, what does it mean to the on-site attendees, physical attendees in Bangkok, and how about those joining virtually? So for example, like when we had the group work or table discussion, we have to transform very quickly. On-site is quite easy because we have a beautiful local host there, Dr. Sarinya. But for the online participant, or the virtual participant, we'll talk about how to break them into work groups. And then we go to another advanced level by using word cloud documents. So, when you have group discussion, imagine if you are 10 of you joining in the virtual room, and you are coming from different parts of the world. You need to discuss, you need to talk, you need to appoint a leader, you need to come up with a solution. So, all those are an added technology that you have to put in. So imagine how you are organizing a physical event. For example, you have a work discussion, you have a table and chairs, you have your flip chart. So the same thing you can transform into the virtual world as well. So for us, that particular event is a training point for us. And indeed, it is very interesting. It is very tiring because, it is sometimes quite frustrating when we are, for me, when I'm speaking from Kuala Lumpur, there are times that we have loss in connection, internet accessibility is poor, and so forth and so forth. So these are all the challenges that you have to go through. And just like when you are doing a live presentation in the room, suddenly the microphone is not working. So, just like now, I'm speaking to you. I'm not sure whether you are getting a good audio and you can see my screen. So these are all the that you have to face. So at the end of the training, the result was very encouraging. We managed to inspire the academia and the local associations in Thailand to think about bidding for future businesses, future conferences for Thailand. I think that is the key objective that we wanted to have, and then we did it very, very well. So earlier on, I mentioned the word digital native. I think to a lot of us, especially me in an old age, digital is something not new for me. So we are learning and upskilling ourselves all the time. And the more you learn, the more out there for you to learn as well. While I'm doing this presentation, if you have any question at all, please use the live chat box at the bottom. Again, for those that just joined, welcome to this ITCMA virtual presentation. Moving on, the second case study that I wanted to share with you is two major events that we just recently concluded, called the ICCA Association Expert Seminar and the 5th 2020. The first event, or what we call AES Live, normally is organized in conjunction with IMAX show at in Frankfurt or in Las Vegas. So it was planned for Las Vegas, but as we all know, traveling to Las Vegas are not possible. So we have gone the AES virtual. And then for the ICCA Congress, this has been a huge debate for us because our annual meeting is in November, and sometime back in May, April, the board of directors of ICCA and the host city of Kaohsiung has been going back and forth. Should we continue to organize the event? Should we cancel? Should we postpone? So this is the situation that I think everybody is facing because you are unsure what you're going to do next. So first I will talk about the AES Live. So what we did, because the minute we decide it's going to be a virtual event, we got no choice anyway. It is a 2-day event, and we put in a lot of vibrant color into the designing of the event because the audience, instead of attending it physically now, they'll only be able to see your emails, your EDMs, your promotion, your websites. So I think one of the concepts that we have in mind is, there are so many virtual events out there. So, you need to be attractive enough, you need to be lively and fun. And this is concept design that we had with the AES Live. The AES Live is held over 2 days. We use the Events Air platform, very much like what we are using now. And it's a web-based. We have speakers from around the world. We have the host coming from the US. But the first session, which is 1 hour, the first is coming live from Singapore, actually, because we collaborated with our partner, Marina Bay Sands. And at that point of time, they had just completed their new studio, their new broadcast studio at the Sands Expo in Singapore. So this is an experience for them as well as for us, because this is definitely a test ground for both parties. So what we did was, imagine from this particular slide, you can see that we have our MC or host who are based in New York. So he's in different time zone. And we have our head office and our events team in Amsterdam, in Europe. And we're going to have the session live in Singapore with audience, with a limited number of audience. And we have to bring the ICCA CEO to the opening. He is based in London. So of course we use the hologram technology to bring in the ICCA president in, and he will need to be engaging with the local speakers and moderators in Singapore. So it's a kind of a combination, but for the audience who are watching this virtually, that would not mean anything to them because they are just looking at one screen. But imagine the work behind the scene that is just huge. So this is how the studio look like. We have Eileen and also the senior vice president of Marina Bay Sands doing the opening. I would like to show you a video right now because this video is a classic example taking you behind the scene, how much investment of technology that has been put in, not only by Marina Bay Sands, I really appreciate your support, but also by ICCA and the rest of our team globally. Can we have the video, please?
Marina Bay Sands is proud to partner Econ to reimagine the future of meetings. See you at the ICCA World Congress.
So I think the two keywords, two learning points or keywords that we have from the AAS Live and is the collaboration and integration. I think that is a key factor because you're dealing with real time. So there's a lot of technical tests that we have done before coming to the live events, not only just with speakers and moderators, but also with the rest of the event teams. And of course, when you come to that level of event, normally you have a lot of free webinars that's being offered to you to attend, but the AAS Live is a paid event and also attended by invited association executives from around the world. So that has to be linked to your registration platform, your websites, your promotion, and so forth. So it's a full-blown work. It's not a physical event, but a virtual hybrid event coming from Singapore. So I think we had a fantastic event, and I couldn't thank Marina Vicen for sharing their expertise. So the key item also from this particular event is that we have just learned that we can't organize the event ourselves. We need to collaborate. By having collaborators from around the world, in particular, in this case, Marina Vicen, I think that makes a lot of sense. So we keep reminding ourselves we don't have all the technology and knowledge and know-how. So the more you collaborate, the more you learn, the more you are allowing the opportunity for your event to be reimagining in a positive direction. Next case study that I'd like to share with you is the ICCA Congress. This is a big one. This is a big deal. This is super important because normally ICCA Congress had about 1,000 over delegates coming from 40, 50 different countries and regions around the world. We have fun, we have networking, face-to-face, physical event. But all that is not possible. Even though the host, Kaohsiung, is one of the safest destinations. I'm sure that all of you know that in Chinese Taipei or Taiwan, people are quite free to move around there. They have a very small number of COVID cases, but it's just that they cannot get the delegate coming to their destination. So we have to go on hybrid. So while we are developing the concept of the ICCA Congress, coming out from the virtual AES, we realized that the biggest challenge is our audience is coming from all over the world. So whatever we design, not only the content, the concept, it has to accommodate delegates from around the world, different time zones. So when you are speaking to somebody in the morning, they are in the evening, and some is after midnight, some in the afternoon, some is having dinner. So that's going to be a huge a challenge, not only for us as organizer, as well as for the delegate, because when you look at the website, you look at 3 p.m., that's this session. But actually it's not 3 p.m. your time, it's 3 p.m. Central European Standard Time. So you start calculating the time difference and then, I missed the show. So what we did is we also have on-demand videos after every session has been posted. So what we did was we came up with a hashtag, or our main concept is transforming global events together. So the key players of the ICCA Congress 2020 are not just the local host committee in Kaohsiung, not just ICCA, not just our board working group that work on the content to deliver, but all other people, all the speakers, the contributors, the members, the non-members, association executive, because each one of you are part of this global event. So we have the studio in London. Because the president is there, and it's easier for him to access the studio. And then we expand because of different time zone. We have 6 regional hubs, that is in Seoul, Sarawak, 2 in Europe, Luxembourg and Malaga in Spain, Cape Town in Africa, and Riyadh in Middle East. So, and we have 2 other virtual hubs in North America and Latin America. And I explained why we have a virtual hub in North America and Latin America, because the full day of Kaohsiung, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. is basically not conducive for that time zone of North America and Latin America. So they are joining a virtual hub, and they're getting a lot of recorded session unless they're waking up in the very early morning. So, but during the live event, the morning session in Kaohsiung is exclusively for Kaohsiung. but the afternoon session that we have in Kaohsiung is meant for worldwide because Europe start waking up. And then the evening in Kaohsiung, while they're having dinner and having fun, the rest of the world, especially Europe, Middle East and Africa, they will be having their own activities. So the hubs are having activities in their morning and in their afternoon is actually in the evening in Kaohsiung. I hope that you are following me. It's quite complicated, not really, but this is the time zone that we have to think about. And we also need to throw in a lot of interesting speakers, interesting topic. For example, we have Bob Bijan from Microsoft. This year in particular, we brought more speakers from outside the industry because this is the kind of collaboration that we want to do. We reimagine ourselves. We do not want to be hearing the same people all over and again because from February, March until October, there are so many webinars and almost everybody in the industry is a speaker. So we try not to use the same speaker again, not because they are not good, but we wanted to bring in fresh air. So we also have Yukai Chao. He's a Taiwanese. He's one of the pioneers in gamification. So he came in and spoke physically in Kaohsiung and one of the best presentation. And also Salman Khan, who is the pioneer and a founder of the Khan Academy from America. So this is the kind of level of top speakers that we brought into our Congress. And when we had the regional hub, as I mentioned earlier, one of the regional hub is in Sarawak. Again, we inspire and we collaborate with the Sarawak Convention Bureau in bringing in speakers again from outside the industry. In this particular, we have Alina Murang. She's a tribal lady from Sarawak, not only an artist, but also a performer. And she talked about how this affects her life as a tribal person, as an artist, and she just won some award just recently. So, it's just a fantastic way to get the message across and to learn at the same time. So during the ICCA Congress, we have more than 220 collaborators. And normally we would call them speakers, but now they're not just speaking, but they have to do all the technical testing. They are actually collaborating because not all speakers are speaking from their offices where they have a full financial support, like our studio in London or our live team in Kaohsiung. These are the people speaking from home. And if you are using a platform like a very basic platform like Zoom and so forth, maybe I think the functions are quite limited. But once you go into a high-end production, things can be a bit more complicated. So we even had the gentleman with a blue background in the middle. That is the Prime Minister of Luxembourg. And we have 200 over collaborators. So imagine the amount of testing, the amount of rehearsal, the amount of coordination that you have to do. So this is really a big deal. And for the ICCA Congress, another thing that I've actually forgot to mention is that the Congress is actually held from the 1st to the 3rd of November, but we have expanded the whole Congress concept from September, October to November. So we have what we call live broadcast starting in September from London, from all over the world. And then also we have AES Live, part of the ICCA Congress content development. And then we have what we call the topic weeks, so 3 topics week to look at specific areas of conversation and discussion that's done every day, 1 hour a day. And then culminate to another live broadcast before we go into the main ICCA Congress. On that note, I would like to share with you another video. Can I have the video played, Lynette, please?
Welcome to our ICCA Global Kickoff, the really exciting launch this year of our 59th Annual Congress.
This is going to be very exciting. A warm welcome to another live global broadcast.
I wish to thank you for attending this opening ceremony of the 59th ICCA Annual Congress.
Welcome to the most beautiful harbor city in East Asia, Kaohsiung.
And I'm coming to you live from my studio here in Redmond, Washington, Seattle, actually.
I think there's a lot of power of having the inspirational speaker and doing that in a kind of a group setting with sometimes thousands of people in a room. There is a shared energy there.
I wish you a warm virtual welcome to Luxembourg.
We're in an era of enormous change.
Hello, my friends in the ICCA community.
Copenhagen Pride has been the center of equal rights, the history, the culture, and the visibility of the LGBTI+ community.
Just give us a wave, please.
Good afternoon, Kaohsiung, and good morning to our ICCA family around the world. Hi, good morning, everybody. We're here in Malaga.
Greetings from Kaohsiung.
Mix with the people and transfer the knowledge.
Excited to connect with you from Cape Town.
Kaohsiung! Yeah, yeah, yeah. ICCA Congress 2020! Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It is a great honor to be recognized for the ICCA Best Marketing Award. You're all looking great.
All of the software that we've built is specifically designed to enable networking
and digital transformation, especially when we're going from optimization to innovation. Nobody knows what the perfect offering looks like.
My name is Alina Murang, and I'm a musician from Sarawak, Malaysia.
Please go ahead to sign the Kaohsiung Protocol. And also James, to please stand up and hold up the Kaohsiung Protocol for a virtual group photo.
Welcome to Cartagena.
We fully support Cartagena's bidding for the ICCA Congress in 2021 and can't wait to have you all enjoying the magic, the sounds, the colors, and the flavors of the Colombian Caribbean. Welcome to Cartagena.
Thank you for that video, which is definitely showing you the whole excitement, the whole energy that we have through our ICCA Congress. There's a lot of learning points, there's a lot of takeaways, there's a lot of rehearsals, and I think it was worth it. For me in particular, we have two regional hubs that is in Seoul and Sarawak, which they did a fantastic job, and I also like to thank them if they are watching this live right now. And I just wanted to share with you all very quickly how we just add a bit more fun to one of the sessions that we were involved. On the second day of the Congress in Kaohsiung, that's 3rd of November, just like I said before, the broadcast studio is in London and the live event is in Kaohsiung. We had what we call an hour session called the ICCA Asia Pacific Chapter Meeting. It's just a 1 hour event. It's no big deal. So members can join in and join the conversation and also listen to the presentation. So I was joining the event through the virtual feed in Kuala Lumpur. But one interesting thing is that during the session, we have our chair, Ashwin Gunasegaran, coming in to give his welcome remarks from Penang. So he's coming in virtually. And the second session is that we have invited as guest speaker, who is the president of the Federation of International Magician Society. He's coming in from Amsterdam. And then the third part of the chapter meeting is that we have a panel discussion. One of the moderator is on site, Mr. Jason Ye, our former board member, and 3 other panel speakers coming all virtually. But one interesting is that when we had this gentleman, Eric Ashwin, a friend of mine, former president of the FISM, he actually coming live, not really live from Amsterdam, because what happened is that it is morning in Taiwan and it's about 3 a.m. in Amsterdam. And during the conversation, during the planning that we did, we said, Eric, we need to do a recording for you so we can play your recording when we go live. So it was recorded. We did it 2 weeks before, 18-minute presentation, all went well. But because he's a magician, and part of his presentation in the beginning, he was asking me to do some activities. So, but he's not there live, and but I was there live. So what we did was we have a pretentious moment during the live session that I was like listening to him. I was on the screen, so we have a double screen in Kaohsiung. So for the people in Kaohsiung and people at home, a lot of them still wouldn't know that actually Eric was not speaking live from Amsterdam. It was a recorded session. So this is some of the reimagining things that you can do. You can put in your creativity. You can do all this kind of thing that normally you can't when you're in the physical event. When I mentioned about the hub in Asia Pacific region, another hub is at Seoul. They brought in about 50 delegates on site. Again, this is to comply with the safety regulation in Korea at that point of time. And I'd like to show you quickly another quick 1-minute video in terms of what kind of excitement that they have when they have a physical event there, but also what kind of arrangement that they have to deal. Because when we talk about reimagining event, it's not only a virtual element, but also the on-site element. Can I have the video, please, Lynette? And I promise you this is the last one. Thank you for the video, Lynette. And I think it's an overjoy for Seoul Tourism Organization in particular, because they also won the best ICCA Best Marketing Award, and also Kintex from Korea. So I think there's a lot of learning point, and we just had our debrief meeting with the colleagues in Seoul. So it's just a fantastic experience and a successful event all around. Moving forward to Sarawak, this is the second regional hub that, the regional hub that we have in Asia Pacific region. The plan was all good, but just like any plan during these days, you are subject to whatever what will happen. So unfortunately, because of the rise of cases in Malaysia, the hub in Sarawak has to be changed from a hybrid event into a virtual hub. So within the 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I think, when the decision was made, the Sarawak team, fantastically, they have quickly done work with their collaborators, Gaining Edge, in terms of bringing back all the speakers who are supposed to speak on November 2nd and 3rd. But now they have to start doing all the recordings early on. So this is a bit of a secret of what we did. So all the recording has to be done. And again, the speakers that they have invited for their session are not just from Sarawak. It's all from all over the world, and some are even from Kuala Lumpur. So a lot of recording has to be done. You have to put in the branding. You have to make it feels like those presenters are speaking live from Kuching. So they have to meet the deadline, which is very crucial to get all the videos up back in the studio in London. And on that day, when the event live goes in, this video will be played just like what we have scheduled. So the show must go on. I give a big shout to the team in Sarawak for being very, very vigilant and very professional in their approach. But more importantly, what I wanted to highlight is that when Sarawak hosted the Econ Congress in 2016, one of the neat things that they have done is the corporate social responsibility, the CSR, where they have donated some books to the children in the interior area of Batang Ai Longhouse. It's a good thing that coming to the hybrid event that they host, the Regional Hub for Econ Congress 2020, they say that we want to revisit what we have done, part of the legacy of what they have done with Econ Congress in 2016. So they went back to the Longhouse. They have even repaired and refurbished the library. But of course, the books get a bit old. They are in longhouses. So they decided to work with us again to push in another book campaign. Gift of Love. So the concept is a very simple: 9 days, 500 books, a lifetime legacy. I'm also happy to bought some books for the children there. But amazingly, so many people came forward to be part of this event. So this is the part of reimagining of events that I want you all to think about, because when we do events, it's not just about the virtual attendees, not about the on-site attendees, but also the community out there that we also need to outreach. So this is a very important element. I think Sarawak did it very, very well. So, I'm proud to say to you all that they have collected 5,000 books. The aim is only 500 books. So, children in the Longhouse, you've got a lot of books to read after this, definitely. So, and also on behalf of the Sarawak Convention Bureau and ICCA, we want to thank all donors, all society leaders, friends from around the world who come up with this idea. And I want to give a big shout also to Jane Wong Holmes, who have started this initial idea of Gift of Love at ICCA Congresses for many years. And even when we are going virtual, the spirit of Jane Wong Holmes, not the spirit of issues possibly, but the spirit of this Gift of Love still being carried out, important legacy, important part of what we're doing with our community today. I'm almost about 10 minutes before my time out. If you have any question, let me know. This is just some of the key elements when we do our event, when we reimagine our event. And we're already starting to plan a few global events in 2021. But coming December, ICCA will be organizing another event in Asia Pacific called the Asia Pacific Summit in Yokohama. So we hope that you'll be able to join us as well. We also have another event in Chengdu. This is also another global event with training and a CEO summit early part of December. And before any question come, I've not seen any question yet. So if you have any question, just type in the live Q&A at the bottom of the screen. I also wanted to take this opportunity to thank Darren, his team, Lynette, and everybody at the TTG team for your fantastic work. We couldn't wait to go back to your show, ITCM China and ITCMA in Bangkok, because I think that's what we all do. But more importantly, why we are continue organizing event, whether it's virtual or hybrid, I think because all our conversation in our industry really matters. We need to move forward. We just hope that one day the situation will improve. There's a lot of news about vaccine being developed, and I just can't wait to travel again to meet colleagues from around the world. Thank you all for the time and for joining us this morning. I remember that every year it will be a small function room at the Centrara Grand. After the presentation, we will have a fantastic coffee break as usual. Kun Ferry, we definitely miss you. And any question at all, I'm still here. And again, thank you very much.
There's two questions, no? Can I just read out for you?
Yes, please.
Okay, first questions. What will be ICCA's industry forecast for 2021?
Wow, that's definitely a good question. In fact, this is what we've been tracking. As for those who are not familiar with ICCA, we compile and we curate and we research all meetings organized by international association that meets our our specific criteria. And because of that, we publish a report called the annual ICCA report, or the ranking of all the destination countries and cities around the world. With all these changes, we are still tracking this report, a snapshot report in December of what are the meetings that have taken place, and what have been cancelled and postponed, and what has been moved to a later date. That's postponed, of course. And early part of 2021, we will publish another report. But this time around, it will not be a ranking of the International Association meetings event, but it will be more on the current scenario of what actually is happening. I might have to say to you, not really in the good news, the trend that we are seeing now, a lot of international associations that have decided to postpone their event from 2021 to 2020 to 21. Now we are seeing the facts and data that they're now again moving their event to 2022. So some of the international associations are already deciding to go hybrid for 2021, knowing that travel are not going to be happening in the near future. And also, even if travel are allowed, I think there are still a lot of challenges for association and organizers out there in terms of financial, in terms of bringing up the confidence for the delegate to attend their event. I hope that answer makes sense.
Also, one more questions. What kind of support is provided so far to the members in overcoming the pandemic? Is there a centralized communication hub?
Yes, of course. On our website, of course, we have the COVID-19 updates page, which the members can benefit. And as I said earlier on, we are still doing that, finalizing that snapshot report. Hopefully by December, members in the member section will be able to get that data and information right away. That will be available in the association database for them to really see which event has been postponed, cancelled, and so forth. I think that is a very important information. From the last few months, we've been doing a lot of training to members, upskilling. We also assisted some of members in terms of doing virtual site inspection. Some are doing already virtual bidding. So in the association space, we might say in a positive note, a lot of businesses are going as normal. It's just a matter that, the event that you win, you need to be a bit more vigilant and flexible, because if you bid for an event in 2021, you need to continuously communicate with your clients whether the event is really happening virtually, hybrid, or is going to be postponed again. So this is some of the things that we do, and we also encourage our members to invest into technology, because I think we have seen many destinations. If I can just take a quick example, like Singapore, you have a good broadcast hybrid studio. In Korea, for example, the Seoul Tourism Organization, if I can just single out, I hope you don't mind, they have a virtual platform for people to have a meeting in Korea, in Seoul. So, it's easy and fun. So, I think there's a lot of innovations coming out. So you have to invest into technology, embrace it. And because especially, as I said earlier on, we are not part of the digital native. So, we really need to be part of this. And I think COVID has really pushed that boundary. And just like today, when we're having this ITCMA, I never imagined I would be attending ITCMA from my own office space here, not in Bangkok. No fun at all.
Okay, so one last question from Geraldine. So is the ICCA Congress video available in the public domain, or can you give us a hyperlink, please?
It's not available in the public domain yet. This is a fresh cut. I just got it yesterday from our team in our studio in London. Once we got it, please drop your email address to the TTG team, and I will definitely send you a copy as soon as it is allowed to be made online publicly.
Okay, great. So I think that's pretty much about it. So maybe now you want to do a very quick closing for ITCMA attendees?
Yes, thank you, Lynette. Again, I couldn't say much that except that this is surreal. is becoming a new normal that, you do a lot of presentation every day from home or from office, wherever you are. I know that colleagues like Lynette and her team, are so good in running exhibitions, running around the floors with the registration problem, with people having problem with the booth and so forth. And now you suddenly become a techie person, Lynette. I think this is the new normal. So this is an experience that we all have to embrace. And I think the big challenge is that how we keep this momentum and how we keep the industry alive. To me, working in the association space, it is saddened to me to see how the whole industry is suffering. We in MICE, we say, wow, MICE is really badly affected. Yes, badly affected, but we still do a lot of virtual events. But compared to, for example, travel, if you are from hotels, your resorts, airlines, restaurants, coffee house, souvenir shops, you just don't have the guests coming in. You just completely go zero. So I think that is far more worse than the MICE industry, which still can survive in some ways or another. We need to be a bit more creative. How do we monetize our event? Because I think in the early part of the pandemic phase, February to June, July, everybody started doing webinars, a lot of webinars, and all of them are free webinars. And how do you now transform your free webinars into a paid webinars? So I think ICCA Congress, as I said, and AES is now, earlier on when I presented, is a huge challenge for us because nobody is willing to pay, even €100, $100 for a virtual event. But if there is a strong reason, if you are able to put in a conversation, and I've shown you even with the interaction with the outside community, like the donation of books to the local community, people want to get involved. So I think we need to go beyond that space, and I hope that all of us can work together. And the hashtag that we've been using for the ICCA Congress when we had that campaign or theme, transform global events together, we didn't realize the meaning of that really until the Congress has completed and over. And even after the Congress has been completed, now the whole team is talking about the conversation doesn't stop there. We have to continue that momentum and the conversation because we are going to be in this situation for a longer period of time. And I think we need to keep on doing what we do best in the meeting space and the meeting industry. So the networking, the business activities must continue, must go on. And it's just that we need to find ways of how this can benefit all of us eventually and virtually. So thank you again, Lynette. Thank you, TTG, and thank you all audience for taking part. I know that this is an early morning, no fantastic, delicious Thai breakfast for all of you or coffee breaks, but you can have your own snacks or your own coffee later on.
Yes, thanks Noor and ICCA teams for the support as always. So I hope we can meet face to face soon. So best wishes to ICCA teams. Thanks Noor once again.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Stay safe too.